What if I told you that along the highways, rivers, and cemeteries of Latin America, a woman in white still cries for her children 5 centuries after her death? The clips you're about to see have left witnesses questioning everything they thought they knew about what walks among us after dark. Terrifying wails that pierce the silence of midnight. A figure in white appears where it shouldn't be, a mother cradling a bundle, her cries cutting through the night like shattered glass. These aren't just legends passed down through generations anymore. They're documented encounters, and they all point to one chilling possibility. La Llorona is real. La Llorona, the Weeping Woman, is one of the most enduring legends in Latin American folklore. According to the tale, a woman named María drowned her own children in a river in a fit of rage and jealousy, an act she immediately regretted with devastating consequences. Consumed by guilt and sorrow, she wandered the riverbanks searching for her lost children until she died. But death brought her no peace. Her spirit was condemned to walk the earth for eternity, crying out for the children she can never reclaim. Her descriptions remain eerily consistent. A woman in a flowing white gown, long black hair hiding her face, her wails echoing across rivers and crossroads. And there's one warning passed down for generations. If her cries sound close, she is far away. If they sound far away, she is standing right behind you. Skeptics dismiss La Llorona as folklore meant to frighten children, but the videos and encounters you're about to see suggest her cries are not confined to legend. They're echoing in our world today. Was it La Llorona? You be the judge. On the outskirts of Guadalajara, Mexico, the streets fall silent after midnight. Most residents lock their doors and sleep peacefully, unaware of what walks the empty roads outside. But one man's late-night journey home would shatter that peace forever. What you're about to see was captured on a phone camera during a frantic sprint for survival. The footage is shaky, the audio haunting, and the implications absolutely terrifying. The following video comes from Ezekiel Vasquez, who lives in a small town just outside Guadalajara, Mexico. On the night of September 14, 2020, Ezekiel was returning home from his late-night shift at a local restaurant. It was just past midnight when he took a familiar shortcut through a quiet neighborhood. He'd walked this route countless times. But on this particular night, something would happen that he would never forget. Armed only with his phone flashlight, he walked into the silence. At first, nothing unusual. But then, a sound tore through the night. Not a child crying, not a woman in distress. Something raw, hollow, and inhuman. Terrified, Ezekiel begins to run. His breathing becomes rapid as panic sets in. But as he runs, the crying doesn't fade into the distance. Instead, it gets closer and closer. It was as if the wail itself was chasing him. Then, something impossible happens. Through the darkness ahead of him, Ezekiel spots a figure standing in his path. The figure appears to be wearing a long white gown, standing motionless in the street. The footage is shaky and dark, making it difficult to make out any clear details, but the silhouette is unmistakable. The video ends abruptly as Ezekiel runs for his life. So what exactly did Ezekiel encounter that night? Was it truly La Llorona? Or is there another explanation for what happened in those dark streets? While Ezekiel's encounter involved a desperate chase through empty streets, the next witness would have a different kind of experience, one that would unfold slowly, deliberately, right outside his bedroom window. The next video comes from Carlos Morales, who lives with his parents in a residential area of Monterrey, Mexico. On the night of May 18, 2023, at approximately 2:30 in the morning, Carlos was fast asleep when something startling woke him up. It was the sound of a woman crying. The wails were deep, mournful, and carried an otherworldly quality that seemed to echo through the empty streets. Unable to ignore it, Carlos got out of bed and made his way up to his balcony to investigate where the sound was coming from. Concerned and curious, he pulled out his phone and began recording. What he captured would leave him deeply shaken. Through the dim streetlights, he spots something moving in the distance, a figure walking slowly down the street, heading in his direction. As the wailing intensifies, Carlos becomes increasingly worried. He makes the decision to wake his parents, hoping they might know what to do. When Carlos returns to his balcony, the figure has gotten much closer. Now, with better visibility, he can make out more details. It's definitely a woman, or what appears to be a woman. She's wearing a long white gown that flows as she walks. Her hair is long and black, cascading down in front of her face, obscuring her features completely. But it's what she's carrying that makes this footage truly disturbing. In her arms, she appears to be holding something wrapped in white cloth. The bundle is small, delicate, and cradled carefully against her chest. Then, something unexpected happens. The woman stops walking. She's now directly in front of Carlos's building, close enough that every detail is visible. She slowly lowers herself onto the road, sitting down in the middle of the empty street with the bundle still in her arms. And she continues to wail. The sound is heartbreaking and terrifying all at once. It's the cry of a mother who has lost everything, a cry of pure anguish and regret. But La Llorona doesn't only appear to those watching from the safety of their homes. Sometimes she's captured on camera in places where no one is watching at all. The following video comes from a gas station located on the outskirts of a small town in Veracruz, Mexico. On the early morning of March 23, 2019, at approximately 3:45 a.m., the station's security cameras were recording as usual when something unusual appeared on the footage. The gas station in question sits along a stretch of highway. During the day, it sees a fair amount of traffic, truckers making long hauls, families traveling between cities, and locals going about their daily routines. But at night, especially in the early hours of the morning, the road becomes nearly deserted. The security camera shows the empty gas station lot in the early morning hours. The pumps are idle, no cars are present. Everything is still and quiet. Then, from the edge of the frame, a figure appears walking along the road adjacent to the gas station. The figure is dressed entirely in white, with what appears to be a long, flowing gown that moves as it walks. There's something unnatural about the way it glides along the roadside. The movement doesn't quite match the typical stride of someone walking late at night. So, what would someone be doing walking along this isolated highway at nearly 4 in the morning, dressed in a long white gown? The figure continues moving through the frame until it eventually disappears from view, leaving the gas station once again empty and silent. Was this La Llorona, wandering the lonely roads in search of her lost children? While surveillance cameras can capture what the human eye might miss on empty highways, sometimes the most compelling evidence comes from those who go looking for answers in places where the dead are laid to rest. The next video comes from Franco, an urban explorer who documents paranormal activity across South America. On a late night in December 2024, Franco returned to Presbítero Maestro Cemetery in Lima, Peru, a location he had visited multiple times before and where he'd experienced numerous unexplained phenomena. But what he captures this night would be far more compelling than anything he'd documented before. Armed with thermal imaging equipment, Franco makes his way through the darkened cemetery, following a trail of candles that seem to lead deeper into the grounds. Through the thermal imaging, he scans the area, looking for any heat signatures that might indicate the presence of someone or something. Anything alive and warm would appear white or bright on the screen. That's when he notices something unusual.
What the hell is that? Hola!
Through one of the tomb windows, the thermal camera picks up what appears to be a figure, standing motionless and watching him. The figure shows up as a dark blue color, indicating it's cold, not warm like a living person would be. Franco switches to his regular camera to see what's actually there. Nothing, just glass and darkness. But when he switches back to thermal imaging, the cold figure is still there. For several minutes, he documents this anomaly, The figure remains visible only on thermal imaging, appearing as a cold presence rather than a warm, living being. But what makes this even more disturbing is what happens later that night.
It's just right there watching. All right, I'm gonna switch to a color camera so you can see how this looks like.
As Franco continues his investigation, he begins hearing something, a sound that sends chills down his spine. It's the unmistakable sound of someone crying.
I'm hearing the crying again.
The wailing is mournful, echoing through the cemetery. Following the sound, he approaches one of the tombs. Inside, clearly visible through his camera, is a figure dressed in white with a shroud covering their head, sitting inside the tomb and crying. For a moment, he freezes. This is no thermal anomaly or trick of the light. This is a person, or something that appears to be a person.
Holy shit.
Sitting inside a tomb at night, weeping. The figure seems unaware of his presence at first, lost in their grief. But then, slowly, they appear to notice him. The crying stops. Franco, understandably terrified, backs away from the tomb and quickly leaves the area.
I'm fucking shaking right now. I don't know if they're looking right at me or still crying.
Could he have encountered La Llorona in the cemetery that night? Or was this simply someone visiting a deceased loved one at an unusual hour? From midnight streets in Guadalajara to a cemetery in Lima, we've examined 4 encounters that challenge our understanding of what walks among us after dark. And here's what's most unsettling. Mothers didn't invent La Llorona as a bedtime story. They told her tale as a warning, a survival lesson, maybe one we've forgotten. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more mysterious encounters. As always, what's your stance on this? Paranormal or not? Let me know in the comments.